Hey everyone, so here I am at the end of a very busy day. I tried to get a bunch of things done from when I got up until right this moment I'm still doing. But you know how it goes. If we just sit on the sofa, it can really lead to a lot of time wasted on the weekends. So instead of sitting on the sofa, I got out and ran a bunch of errands. Hit Nelson's Market first to get some produce, then went across the street to my gym. I worked out for an hour, hit the red light therapy booth, then the hydro bed for a quick massage before I headed out again and went a few blocks down the road to take pics at one of my listings. I managed to get all of that done and home by 1 o'clock, so I decided I deserved a margarita and some pool time. It was our first sunny day in 2 weeks. Loved it. Then I headed out for more errands. I started at Walmart. I decided with everything going on in the news, I wanted to stock up on a few meats again. So I headed out to our Walmart marketplace, and I couldn't believe how lucky I got on all of the clearance deals they had for a Saturday afternoon around 3:30. It was kind of shocking. But given that I'd gone to Sprouts a week or two earlier and seen all their fabulous good quality meats on clearance, I can't say I was really impressed with the prices here, especially on the ground beef. Hands down, in my area anyway, Aldi is by far the best deal on quality ground beef by several dollars. And so, of course, I passed the ground beef. And I passed up the steak because I already had some for my birthday. I do that maybe 3 times a year. But I did think that this cube steak looked pretty interesting. It's something I haven't had in a long time. So I had to snag that. Got some plans for that down the road. And then this stew meat, again, boy, you'd be better off buying a roast and chopping it up at that price. And some pork on sale, not marked down by much, $1.50, $2. But I guess in today's world, if you can save $1 or more, boy, you gotta try, right? So I passed most of this, and I did end up getting a couple of packages of different things. But what was really interesting to me was to see this 5-pound bag of drum legs on clearance, and right next to it is a 10-pound bag of drumsticks and thighs for basically the same price. So boy, it doesn't take much math to figure out which one's the better deal there, does it? So yeah, I picked up a couple of items. The salmon was a pretty good price, but it's not wild caught, so I passed on that. I have been wanting sausage. I don't know why. I've been on this sausage kick, and this was marked down pretty well, about $1. So I thought I'd better go ahead and snag that, because even at Aldi now, a tube of sausage is over $3. So now I'm back home, and these are the 3 packages that I did decide to go ahead and buy. And the short ribs I put in the crock pot later in the day. And now I've got to get on with more errands. I'm heading off to Publix, and I'm here specifically for one BOGO item, and I am so excited about it. It's been almost a year since they've had this Maury salmon on a BOGO that coincided with a grade I bought a rebate of $1.75, and there's also $3 off of 2 packages on the Maury's website if you go there. So when you do the math, that took it down to about $8-9 for 40 ounces or 2.5 pounds of salmon. And I decided to get a little more wet cat food just because Ibotta seemed to suddenly go from never having any good cat deals to having a whole list of them this past week. So after doing a little math, I made my decisions, then I headed home. So I've got 2 Publix hauls for you guys here. This one I did Friday afternoon from here over. And this one I did just now because these Maury's are on BOGO. And I've never tried the flounder. I've always bought the salmon in this variety. And today I realized that they have the flounder and it also qualified for the Ibotta rebate. And I think I'm going to try making some fish tacos with these maybe, even though they say garlic and herb. I think if I throw taco seasoning in there, it'll work. We'll see. I also got these are really expensive, $9 at Publix, but I bought one bag on Friday and said, OMG, this is the best fall treat that I have tried so far this year. Now, I got these at Publix. You may or may not be able to find these in your area if you don't have a Publix, and even if you do, I'm not sure they all got them, but my Publix had a lot of them in St. Lucie West. So anyway, I got another one for my house and one for my son's family and one to send to the girls. And then this cat food was not on sale. It was $13.49, but I got a $3 rebate from Ibotta. These I got 50-cent rebates for each of those. So for this little haul, don't you hate it when they give you a receipt that is barely legible? I really had a hard time getting this to work on Ibotta. So I'm getting $11.50 back from Ibotta. And I spent a total of $65. Take off $20 for the gifts because I'm giving 2 packages of those away. That takes it down to $45, and minus my $11.50 on Ibotta, I basically spent $35, including the cat food. And I'm just really tickled because a pound of salmon at Aldi is now between $10 and $11, depending on the day, right at 2.5 pounds for $9. So I'm happy about that. And because I did this deal on Friday, I already had taken them out of the boxes and put them in a baggie in the freezer to save space. Same deal here. And then these one bars, they were on a BOGO. Those are pumpkin pie. They have 20 grams of protein. And, you know, I love the one bar brand. My favorite is maple, but they didn't have them in the individual bars. And to get a box of 5 bars is now $12 at Publix. So I paid a total of $6 for 4 bars here, and I got $1 back from Ibotta. So $5 for those 4 bars, that's a good deal. And then they had these Quaker crisps on BOGO. They didn't have any caramel, so I went with the apple cinnamon. Another loaf of bread, and I already used half of that for a sandwich on Friday. And then these creamers, these were on a BOGO, $6.29, which is insane, but sure wish the Natural Bliss would make a creamer without sugar in it. And then I needed some more napkins. They were on a BOGO, $3.59 a package. So yeah, that's my little haul, and I'm real happy because I am so excited about this salmon. So now I've got 3 months worth of salmon, and even if this reloads again in my Ibotta, which I doubt it will, I'm set. I'm not gonna be running out to the store to buy anymore. Just to go over Friday's receipt, I got a total of $8.95 back from Ibotta. There's the creamer on BOGO. My 1 bar's on BOGO. The seafood on BOGO. Oh, and I did get about $8 worth of magazines there. So if you take off the magazines and the napkins, which were the only non-food, that would be about $12.50 coming off of the total. And I spent $56. Call it $9 back from Ibotta. That takes it down to $47. And I saved $51.54 even without the Ibotta. So, you know, in today's world, that's a win. So between the two, I spent $65 and $56. Not exactly my best shopping ever, but that salmon deal was great. So it was worth it. Anyway, thanks for sharing in my little BOGO joy, and I hope you guys can find some of these almonds because, oh my goodness, those are good. Now let me show you what I picked up at Nelson's. And today I went there just because I had to drive right by it to go do a property inspection, and I wanted to check the peppers second spin because, you know, you can get so lucky there. Well, guys, they did have a couple of not that exciting bags of peppers there, but to my dismay, they have doubled the cost. They went from $1 to $2. Wah, wah. And I guess it is the sign of the times, right? I love that place, and wow, what a great deal on these fresh herbs. I got a thyme, a sage, and 2 rosemary. Then I got 5 Roma tomatoes out of their second spin. A delicata, which I'll show you here the footage of the big bin of the various squash. And I decided, you know, I'm on this pumpkin kick, sure, but I've seen other YouTubers try these delicata where they kind of breaded them and fried them, or I should say sauteed them in a pan. And I'm gonna try that. And then I have never actually purchased sugar pumpkins, and that's what both of these were labeled, 99 cents a pound. These are pretty small, as you can see, but these were $3.99 each, these herbs, which is a fantastic deal. And my ticket came to $28. So I think these 2 pumpkins cost me about $3.50 each. My goal this month is to eat a whole pumpkin, and I've decided I'm not going to have any problem doing that, plus I am doing some meal preps this week. I'm going to make some harvest chili to take to the office, which will use 1 whole bag of the pumpkin that's in the freezer. And then I'm also going to make some fall egg rolls, you guys. I'm feeling inspired. And I'm gonna do, you know, like a Southwest, but I'm gonna put pumpkin and some other things in there. So look for that coming up in another video. I thought it would also be interesting to cut these up just to see what the pumpkin flesh consistency is like compared to a regular smallish jack-o'-lantern pumpkin, because these are so much pricier. Nelson's had some fabulous pumpkins on display. They had these all on the end caps at the end of the registers, which I thought was a great idea. Kind of like a pumpkin gallery. It was just so fun. The prices were a little crazy. Look at this ginormous guy. He was $200. And then, of course, lots of little pumpkins scattered everywhere. 'Tis the season. So I can't wait to give these sugar pumpkins a go and check those out. And meanwhile, back in the kitchen for the remainder of the day. My goal today was to bang out a lot of things and try to be as active as possible, because lost a little ground on the scale in September. So I'm trying to make up for it here in October. And I've got to do a little bit of meal prepping. And in fact, yesterday I got junky. I made a homemade Chick-fil-A sandwich and some potato chips, you guys. You know, I'm really needing to get in the kitchen when it gets to that point. Oh gosh, but we all get there, right? So at least it was homemade and not full of grease. That's all I'm gonna say about it. But I'm gonna take you along with what I'm getting up to tonight. So let's roll. When I'm doing pepper chopping for my kielbasa sheet pan, I like to slice the peppers in a 1/2 inch to 1/3 of an inch width, you know, the length of the pepper, and then chop those in 3 pieces because I like them to be bite-sized without being really big and square. Right, so I don't have much broccoli left here, but I'm catching it before it's, you know, gone the wrong direction, and I'm glad for that. And also I read that the stem of the broccoli has the most nutrients, which kind of makes sense. So I plan on chopping up some of this. You know how when you buy it frozen, you get those bags and it's mostly the stem? Well, I actually like that part of the broccoli actually a little more when it comes to roasted veggies than the florets section. So to stretch that green a little bit, that's my game plan. And then tomorrow I'll probably make a zucchini cassoulet because I have 3 zucchini in the fridge that I bought a week or so ago. So definitely gonna get everything used up. I don't want to throw anything out. All right, so here's a quick look at how all the goodies turned out. The Italian roasted veggies, the curried veggies, fajita chicken, Italian chicken, and then the bourbon salmon. And I am going to pair the salmon with the cilantro lime. It's pre-cooked. I just have to throw it in the microwave and then top it with what I've got going here. And then the rest can go towards meal preps for the rest of the week. So it's Saturday evening and I've got my usual coconut oil and conditioner in my hair. Just wanted to share with you all really quick where I'm at in my thoughts on how I'm approaching my food storage right now. Because my YA's moved to Kansas City, I don't have nearly as much need for that volume of the pantry, freezer, yada yada. And now I am wanting to kind of do a happy medium, if you will, going forward. I had planned just to keep it down to only a 1 month supply for one person, because I do plan to move maybe within the next 12 months or so, if possible, to Kansas City after I get my car paid off. But meanwhile, the world is doing its thing, right? I don't want to be any kind of a negative Nelly, so I'm not going to go there. But I will say, after all of the various news articles came out this week, the level of uncertainty in the world in general kind of cranked up another notch, at least that's how I saw it. And then I watched one of my favorite YouTube channels, Mimi Todd, put up a short little post, which I'll link down below. And she kind of woke me up a little bit. Thank you, Mimi. And I said, you know, Sherry, you're not moving for you. And, you know, peace of mind kind of thing. I decided I want to have about a 3 month supply in my freezer, at least in the meats category. And I had gotten down to 1 month, like I told myself I would, kind of excluding a little bit of the bits and bites. But as far as full meal prepping for a week of food at a time, I was down to about a month's worth of meats. There were several really great sales out there this week and did a little bit of stocking up. So now I'm definitely a 2 month supply in the chicken and the seafood category. I've been trying to stay out of the store a little more. Like Mini Mom says, if you can delay it by 1 day and average that out over a year, that's 7 days that you didn't go grocery shopping, and that can add up. So I'm trying. I didn't really stock up at all in the canned goods department. I don't need to. You know, the dry goods, I'm good on all that. And of course, we all have to buy our fresh produce on an ongoing basis, but that's game plan. Anyway, just wanted to share that with you, and I hope you all are doing really well out there. A lot of us are just trying our best to do what we can, and God bless all of us, and may He keep us safe and help every one of us have everything we need and a little more, so that we can help anyone else that might have a need. Thank you all for tuning in, and I will see you on the next one.